Hi guys, gals, non-binary pals, and all my friends out there. Here we are back on Hope Loves Talk, so welcome back. So, let's see. We've talked about characters and getting into characters. We've talked about, how you have to be with the character, mean character, and how to make our writing sophisticated, and how to make our editing sophisticated, and all this other stuff. And we've talked about the game and the goal. So, in last episode, we just basically talked about character growth and journey and story. Think about that. Okay, so we talked about how if you have a clear path, if you have a plan, then you will know. You will not be worrying, scene to scene, or chapter to chapter, day to day, paragraph to paragraph, keyframe change to the next, that it all flows together. Now, we're going to be talking about characters and plot points and tons of important things like that in journey and planning, and how to just do it and make it natural, really, and how we'll bring in people and connect people and just do the thing that we've always wanted to. How do we do that? How do we make plot points? How do we plan ahead for, these chapters that we know are going to be big chapters? How do we do them? Should we think about that? Should we think about that stuff? Well, yeah. Obviously, we should think about the future and what we are going towards, what our goal is, and how we'll get there. Yeah, but how do we make our plot points and our little things that we do natural? Like, if I want to use a certain effect for editing, how do I build up to that? Is there a point in the song that I want everything to stop and this person be in the center, and then the crazy to start again? How do I do that? How do I know that I'm on the right path, doing the right thing even, if I don't exactly know where I'm going. That right there, my friends, is it. We don't know exactly where we're going, but we do. We don't exactly know what we're doing, but we do. When we write a chapter and we start a story, really, to tell to audience, our listeners, people out there listening, when we even start treatment for something medical. We all know the end schools and the means, but we might not always know the things in between. That's natural. You're not really supposed to. But then how do we plan ahead? How do we make these plot points? How does that work? Well, really, plot points and certain things that we have and things that we want to build up to, we already have ideals for them. They just haven't come out. And when they do come out, bear with me, do what you need to do to remember them. Personally, for me, when it comes to plot and, plot points and things that are important, I don't really see them as a thing that has to happen, but more like a thing that can happen, may change, but if you think of in the context of, you will write for it, of course. And when you think about things that you have like plot points, you talk them out. When you think about ideals and plans you want to make for the weekend, you talk them out. You write them down. You think about them. That's it. Straight there. Sitting with your work, you'll naturally get ideals for plot points. And you'll naturally have whole entire scenes already prepared. And naturally, those things will change, but you've made a ground basis for yourself. They're kind of like mini arcs, like things that are kind of gonna happen, a character arc where this one character basically kind of gets to still the show and it's all about them for a while and to go through their character and what's going on with them. And this, sometimes plot points can be that. You don't really even have to think of them as plot points. They can be anything they want to, anything they need to. They're just ideas that are great, but no, they're also places you want to hit. Things that you want in there. And milestone markers. You don't have to have an ideal for every single chapter, story, conversation you ever have with somebody in your life. You don't have to have a step-by-step, here's this, here's that, here's that. That's not life. That's not how it works. I'm not sorry that I'm telling you this, because if I tell you this and somebody else has told you this and you've experienced this, you know it's right, or you are waking up to the reality of it. I mean, life's life. It's wild and can be chaotic at times, which is why not every plot point you come up with is going to go through, which is okay, because not every idea that the character gets or wants to do will go through, because it's life. And your story is about life. It's bringing people together, and if the two mimic each other, then they're really not mimicking. It's more of bringing your story to life. And in all total honesty, you can write a whole entire story or chapter off of a plot point. I'm not kidding. I mean, one thing that you see happening, or a couple of things that you see happening in that chapter, you have to get there now. You have to find a way to get there now. That's it. It's a little mini chapter, a little mini story. So it's the plan within the plan? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, thinking about how the characters are all going to take and see things, even when you're only in one person's perspective, will naturally reflect the things that they see from that person, the motions they give you, the words they say. It'll all work as one. This is how we get the growth. This is how we get the movement, and this is how we get the inner workings of a story. Because a story isn't really all that you think it is sometimes. A story doesn't have to be fake or fictional or did happen and this is what we know about it. A story talks about life. And by bringing yours to life, it creates so many beautiful things, like fandoms and Voltron and Star Wars rights go to them also. You know, She-Ra, like Princess of Power rights also go to those creators too. What I'm saying is that the best people that you think out there in the world have done, you know, all the amazing things they've done, it hasn't been step by step, little by little, okay? George Lucas did not know that Darth Vader was going to be Luke's father. But he had a plan. And if you have a plan for where to end, you have a plan to get there. No, exactly. How to plan a line and a place to go. If you have both, then you will naturally find where you're going. It may not always go the way you expected or planned to, but that's life. And that's growth. So, that's how you get your story.